And welcome back to the Tee Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. My name is Paddy Robinson. Now I'm in the booth with Timmy Bowen. How are you, man?
I'm a little flat, Paddy. I've just come straight from Barwon Valley and somehow I managed to lose a frisbee on one of the Barwon Valley holes. I know where it went. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, right.
There's just some black hole there that just ate my frisbee.
Which hole?
Hole 18.
Oh, well, that's all right. Your dad will probably find it and put it in the basket and just send you a photo of it 3 weeks later.
I won't put that past him, to be honest.
And I'm also with Andrew Fergie Ferguson. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very well. It's great to be here again.
I like your shirt. Innovative Disc Golf. That looks old, mate.
I think it is old. I'm old, so it's probably old. Yes, it might have said it used to be black. Now it's just grey.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, well, this is episode 64, and let's get straight into it because it's going to be a cracker. Now, I put in a little reflection as we've done, but my reflection is that it's nothing too boring for you. It's Father's Day in the US, and I've seen a lot of disc golf gifts getting passed around to a lot of the US disc golf dads out there, and it just sparked a question in me that I wanted to ask you fellas. Have you ever been given a disc golf related gift for Father's Day or for your birthday or anything like that? And what was it? Was it a good one?
That's a good question.
Yeah, early on when Ali and I were first dating many years ago, she gave me a kind of A3, maybe A3 sized image, like framed image of the patent of the first disc golf basket.
Yeah.
Which I know you also have.
Yes, I was going to say, I think my wife copied that.
She might have. So that was pretty cool. I thought, this is really cool. A nice little wall hanging piece. It's a little bit kind of old school, something close to my heart.
Genuinely the nerdiest thing I've ever heard.
I know. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure, I don't know where she found it. But
hey, mate, we play disc golf. We're nerds. Yeah.
So that was, there you go.
Nice.
It's fine.
I don't think I have actually, but my birthday and Christmas are very close together. So everybody always asks, like, what should I get you? And my answer is always money for frisbee trips.
Yeah.
Okay. I go on a few, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to play a couple of tourneys.
You like it?
I'll tell you, speaking of Christmas and things like that, for my Kris Kringle, which I think I know who it was, last year, I got a pre-flight number, so no flight numbers of it, Star Orc.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That's pretty solid.
I'm blushing. You're welcome, Fergie.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. I think I knew who I was buying for.
No, yeah. Well, maybe in a couple of episodes' time we should do, especially maybe in the lead up to Christmas, we should talk disc golf gifts. Maybe one for the wives to have a listen to, and what you can buy your husband for their disc golf obsession.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I got the patent. What else did I get? Oh, actually, on yours, Tim, I did get gifted the like a Jetstar membership, which I used for all the traveling flights. And that
actually,
sort of
just
stuff.
remembered, you built me a desk for my office, Paddy, and
I did.
Didn't want to accept cash, but you got paid in Sexton
And Firebirds, and I did like that.
A few other frisbees,
It's a good exchange.
Yeah, put that out there. We'll do work for frisbees. All right, next up, the news recap.
What's news round the world, round Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
The news and tournament recap is brought to you by Disc Golf Warehouse. Use the code TEOFF at the checkout and snag yourself a cheeky little discount.
All right, we're kicking things off in the US. We had the Disc Golf Pro Tour Beaver State Fling at Milo McIver Park. That was won by Gannon Burr and Holland Hanley by one shot and a playoff, respectively.
Oh, man, I love this leg of the tour. It's just so good. And seeing Beaver and Milo, that is just some of the best disc golf you watch.
Yeah, Beaver State Fling's cool. It's kind of open but kind of wooded and just takes some weird shot shapes. A lot of rollers, which is nice.
Yeah. And it's a bit surreal. Like I have played it. It's a bit of a surreal place to go and play. Like not much phone reception. It's really hard to get your bearings. You're just like out in nature playing disc golf. It's cool.
Yeah, very
Is that where you slept in the car park?
One off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the only one. That's basically how the pros do it, Paddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's just kick things off with MPO. Ezra Robinson and Ricky Wysocki were in a tie for second place. It was actually Ezra who was the best chance to win it. On the very last hole, he had a putt to force the playoff from about 21 metres, just outside C2, and he clean whiffed it.
Clean whiffed. It had a good height.
Clean whiffed,
It was definitely too right. It was-
About a full metre,
yeah.
right? But I mean, at the same time, people were saying like he choked, he rushed it didn't take enough time. But I think those people haven't seen Ezra and Isaac Robinson putt before because they don't take more than 1 second on any of their putts, which is good.
I got to admit, I felt Gannon got a little bit lucky. He had this little like forehand approach to get through the trees.
He went PD2
Yeah.
from he was like inside C2 and he went PD2. That's Tim Bowen stuff. That.
It got some weird reaction off that just basically put him under the bus. And I was like, oh, okay, I think you did get a little bit lucky there. But
He gets a lot of good breaks. We always talk Gannon spit outs. We always look
more
over
than one hole.
the good breaks that he gets. He gets a lot of good breaks. But nevertheless, he has won his third event for the year. And I feel like we were just like, Gannon never closes it out. And now we're like, Gannon wins every freaking thing. Because he had a bit of a clean sweep just lately.
I mean, just good to see Ezra really having a good crack at it. And honestly, Ricky, again, like podium, man.
Yeah.
He's starting to be due.
He probably shouldn't have been tied for second. It should have been Luke Humphries because he looked like he was going to win at one stage. He was playing so good, so clean, and he blew it on hole 17. He took a 9.
That was hard to watch.
A quad bog.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah.
I feel like he got a bit unlucky, like copping a bit of foliage and dropping onto the path. But then the next shot after that, he went for it. And
he probably shouldn't have, to be honest.
No.
If he just laid up to the left side.
Did he actually? Do you actually think he went? Like, it was
I
such
thought
a
he
shank.
He went, no, he went
going?
for it.
Yeah,
It actually,
okay.
I thought didn't mind it out of his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it did get cleaned up by the crowd as well. I was like, was that a chance of coming skipping off the road and getting back? Who knows? Nevertheless, it's his probably second chance that he's really pushed Gannon Burr and unfortunately not got the goods late. So
Actually, just speaking of Gannon Burr and cleaning up the crowd, did you guys see Gannon Burr nearly decapitate a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
Far out, man.
Came in hot.
oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, straight through the crowd. That's a terrifying place to sit. Yeah.
Luckily, he's not old enough to be tried as an adult. So if he did clean cut off someone's head.
He could just go to juvie. He'd be right.
All right, let's move over to FPO where we saw Holland Hanley get her first win. Listen to this, boys. She's had 27 top 10 finishes and 12 podiums in 44 Disc Golf Pro Tour events without a win. She had a win at Throw Pink, which is a big event, but not technically one of those. So the stat holds true. That's all I'm saying. And it was a bit of a choke from Owen Scoggins. So I don't know if you saw, it was hole 17 like Humphries, different hole, but second last hole, she turfed a forehand, like pretty routine forehand that she probably didn't need to go for a birdie on. She didn't need to play for par, and she just did that classic MA4 forehand, roll on the wrist, straight into the turf, and it cut rolled OB. And then Holland stepped up and actually hit a super clutch putt, like stretched all the way out, Anheuser nose up putt. It was huge. So they went into the last hole tied, and then Owen absolutely parked it. And Holland steps up, throws her up shot, and hits like the C1 barrier. They had like a log marking C1.
Yeah.
And she hit it, and it rolled back to like deep C2. And then Holland clutched like a massive putt. If you haven't seen this, go back and watch just like the last 2 holes of the Beaver State Fling FPO coverage because it's easily the biggest FPO stuff that I've seen this year.
I mean, we've seen a couple little words sort of get around, like whether you want to call it clickbaity or whatever, but Paige Pierce calling out, Brodie Smith and the boys for maybe not really watching any of the FPO coverage. I got to admit, the main reason we don't really watch it is because when it comes on live, it's like literally 1 a.m. in the morning. But going back and watching some of that stuff, the girls aren't throwing like 600-foot bombs and stuff, but you watch everything else, like that putting, all that sort of stuff is so clutch and just next level, and it's so freaking exciting to watch.
Speaking of that putting,
unreal.
I'm seeing some stats here, Tim. Tell us what's going on because that looks crazy.
Mate, Holland, so she led C1 in regulation at 44% and putted at 89%. Fantastic stats. She was kind of the favourite to take out Beaver State Fling with no Kristen. Kind of suits Holland's game more than it suits Owen because Owen doesn't really have the distance. But Owen's putting stats were just off the charts. She hit 32 out of 33 C1X and 8 C2 putts.
Mate, I want to putt like a girl.
Yeah, PDGA tracks like distance that your putts, your average putt, and adds them up. She had 1,000 foot worth of putting, which is just monumental.
That beats my 7.
I'm happy with 10. Happy with 10.
Craziness.
Goodness me. That's
But
huge.
yeah, love that from Holland. Good to see her win. And I think she's a red hot favourite for the next event, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Other notables I had, Nate Doss, the big boss Doss, returned, and it was awesome to see. He really didn't play all that well, but he certainly created a buzz. And
mate.
I just thought it was fitting because that's like the main diss that he threw, the buzz.
Yep.
Yeah. It was, I did watch, obviously I love that they put him on the feature card.
Yeah.
I thought that was real class. And yeah, they had a gallery getting around already, just him, Rick, Paul. Is like, it was just unreal.
So good.
Felt like I was, watching disc golf from like 6-7 years ago.
So he's 39, yeah? 39.
39.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So-
he's built like every amateur disc golfer I've ever seen in America.
He does own a brewery.
Yeah. Fair call. It's something about
what's
like
that, Bob? Is it Bobby Hill or like the guy from that King of the Hill?
Yeah, the
Just-
kid.
that
He looks like a kid. Yeah, absolutely he does. It's like the shorts are too long, the t-shirt's too small. But man can throw smooth.
Yeah.
And look, he was scratchy because he obviously hadn't played many comps and stepping up to a Pro Tour event, but he finished 71st, had a very good round 2. So I'd love to see him play a few more
it's
events.
like a 10, was it a 10:30 rated round 2 or something?
Don't
Like
know
that?
the
It was
rating,
up
but it was
there.
good.
He was like a 4 or 5 down. So
I'll be interested to see if he
solid.
comes out next year in MP40 and gives a little tilt.
Surely.
He'd smash it.
Yeah.
Now, this is my very last note on Beaver State Fling. Holly Finley and Noah Five Ash hitting the couples ace. So they Holly kicked things off. She aced hole 13. And then later on the same day, Noah, and it happened to be his birthday, mind you,
Yeah.
aces the exact same hole. Like, that's insane. Like,
Mate,
and Paddy,
I think it made, didn't it make
Sports Centre.
Sports Centre?
It absolutely
Would it
did.
come in at 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Noah's
cool.
celebration. He's just like a couple's ace. And then I loved even more
Just whipped.
what Holly had to say
Yep.
after the round.
Let's have a quick listen.
Today is my boyfriend Noah's birthday, and believe it or not, he just aced the exact same hole right after I did. What a day. I love flinging beavers.
That is hilarious and just
my God.
sickeningly sweet. That is just
That
That sounds straight up AI to me.
That has to be like a t-shirt. What a day. I love flinging beavers.
I don't know. I can't decide if that's like R18 plus language or if it's just really funny to sound. But anyway, let's move on. I've dwelled on Beaver State Fling way too much. We got to move over to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Turku Open. This was over in Europe. Not a stacked field as far as the US pros go, but certainly some good names over there. And it was Nicholas Antler that got it done. He had a 1081 final round to win by 2 shots over James Proctor.
Wow. 1081 final round.
Yeah,
solid.
Good stuff.
I saw a few of the highlights and James was hitting big putts
Was
too.
he really?
Yeesh,
I had a look.
yeesh.
Overall, the putting was not amazing. Like Nicholas won with 79% C1X, which is very low as far as an MPO win goes. I didn't actually watch the coverage, so it could be due to the wind or it could be due to, I think there were a lot of trees in C1 actually. So there's a lot of obstructed putts.
It's good to see the proctologist up there, though. Because
Yeah.
I don't think he's had the best year so far, but
Pretty slow by his standards. Just got married, so hopefully he's,
It's just in the honeymoon phase.
put that handicap behind him and he's actually just out there flinging frisbees again.
Tim, you haven't actually noted it, but did you guys see the young 16-year-old who was absolutely slaying it at
Who's the
Turku?
16-year-old?
That's a good question. I'll
Not-
get that name for you.
Not Maori Villman. He's not the youngie. No.
No, I'll find it.
Yeah.
But,
no, did not see that.
Kid
As
was
I said,
slaying it.
Haven't watched any of the coverage just yet, but I did have a look at the FPO stats. Silva Saarinen had a 2-shot win over Evelina Salonen and a 3-shot win over Henna Bloomross. And the putting stats caught my eye. So have a listen to this. Silva Saarinen, she went at 83% C1X, very, very good. Evelina went at 63% and Henna went at 52%. Their amateur Aussie numbers, 52% C1X, no bueno.
I wish.
Have a look at C2. So Silva hit 9 out of 20, which is elite. Like hitting more than like 3 C2 putts in a Pro Tour event is good, I feel, particularly FPO standards. Evelina hit 0 from 15 and Henna hit 1 from 16. That is gross. That is, they need to sort their stuff out, particularly Henna. She's really like, Evelina's sort of turning the corner, but Henna she just throws it so damn well and just spews it in the putting circle.
It's crazy when you think of those stats because she's only kind of won over Evelina by two throws.
Yeah.
And then you look at that, you're like, geez, Evelyn, just clean up a bit.
I know.
Happy days.
Tita Green's great, just the putting. Anyway, got to move on. Lastly, and this is Pro Tour stuff because we've got Lukey Bain over there knocking out Pro Tour events. I brought back Bain Watch.
Oh.
So just a quick update on Lukey Bain. He had a 976 rated event at the Turkey Open, had a tie for 79th place. He had a better showing at Heinola.
Heinola?
I don't know how to pronounce these places, but 993 average. He was in a tie for 47th place, which is agonisingly one single shot out of the cash. So that would have hurt for Bainey.
If we're going to keep doing Bain Watch, can we please work on the theme song?
Yeah,
We need a jingle
thanks
there.
for the heads up, Tim. Yeah, good on you.
Sorry, mate. Next up for Bainey, he's playing the Ale Open or the Ale Open, I don't know, in Knoll,
Ale,
Sweden.
surely.
Ale.
Ale in Knoll.
We'll see how he goes. Good luck to Lukey Bain.
All right, and as far as the Aussie Tour is concerned, we'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to quickly touch base on the amateur and the pro Masters, which
Worlds.
happened. Yes, the Worlds, the big ones. We had some good showing of some Aussies over there. I don't know. I'd be interested to know how many Aussies we've had an event before over in the US, like a Worlds.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
There's a couple slipped under the radar. So if we missed anyone, please, we're very sorry.
Absolutely.
But, it's good to see a bunch of Aussies and New Zealanders actually head over.
Yeah. Speaking of, as far as the pro tournament is concerned, big shout out to Mr. RPM Discs himself, Simon Feasey from New Zealand, who snagged a very handy second in MP55.
And, well,
Amazing.
he was leading for 4 rounds.
Yeah, he was leading
Three rounds?
It was the
maybe?
semis that got him. The semis.
Semis.
Yeah. I think he had a 4-stroke lead going into the finals, and then unfortunately there was an 8-stroke swing in that one.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
Kevin Babbitt, I think, got the win there. So a bit unfortunate, but that's huge. Though. You take a second, wouldn't you?
Bloody Babbitts.
In the world, I know. It's a little bit closer to home in the AM Worlds. A huge congratulations to WA local Kim Holmes for coming tied second in MA70 at the World Champs. Huge.
Yeah.
Second. So close.
So Kim gets over. He plays Worlds almost every year, doesn't he?
Oh, he's over there a lot.
Yeah. But this is his highest finish, podium.
Yep.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, he played some really solid golf as well, I think, across the 4 regulation rounds. And then he continued that in the semis and the finals. A lot of disc golf for a 70-year-old bloke.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's massive.
Yeah.
So,
And he was so close to joining Brucey McNaughton as a world champ.
yeah, absolutely. Very close. Next time, mate. Also competing at the AM Worlds was Queensland Jason Vito, who placed 74th in MA40 division.
Nice.
Yeah, he played some really good golf, shooting consistently above his rating throughout the tournament. So well done, Jason.
Yeah, we've been trying to get him on. The time difference makes it very, very tricky. We'll have to get him on a
It's
future
also
episode.
hard when he's got competing, who did he have a round with?
Pete Ulibarri. Yeah,
Pete-
we managed to get hold of JB. Unfortunately, Jace dogged us to play with Pete Ulibarri, which is probably fair enough.
Another Aussie at the AM Worlds was Brad Turner from Marsden in Queensland. Brad continued his good form this year with a solid 74th place in MA40. And he did a very Brad averaged 40 points above his rating over the 4 rounds, which is pretty awesome.
Hey,
That's good stuff. Shooting over your rating.
Did he tie with Vito?
MA40.
Yeah.
He must
or
have.
maybe he's MA50?
No, they might be the same
MA40.
division, I think. Yeah, same.
There was
That's
there was a few on 74.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. Also making the trip to the US for the AM Worlds was ACT's Margaret Trail. Margaret placed a very respectable 14th in the field of 26 competing in FA40. And speaking of ratings, she averaged 813 for the event, which is almost 50 points above her rating. So
That's huge.
That's massive. Awesome.
Nice one.
Averaging over your rating in a big, you've never played a bigger event than that. Not to mention sleep deprivation, jet lag. You're going from winter to summer. It's tough going over there and playing.
It's huge. And it's 4 rounds too. I mean, it's an epic tournament. So, and lastly but not least, also competing at the AM Worlds was the Tee-Off's very own jingle master, Jason Brown. JB placed 76 in the MA50 division. 67th, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry, mate. And he's finished very strongly after some tough early rounds. But that certainly don't think phased JB, because he did get to, I believe, have a round with his idol, Johnny McRae.
And you'll hear more about that soon because we actually got on the blower with him.
Yeah.
Awesome. Looking
Yeah.
forward to hearing that.
Yes. But no, it was awesome. The other thing I just wanted to know, there was what's the young kid in New Zealand?
Stout.
Stout.
Ethan, Levi.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to know as well, Levi Stout's mum went over and played.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I think she ended up coming, she podiumed in her event too. I think she came second. So
Nicely
some
done.
of the Kiwis just...
It's in the blood. It's in the Stout blood.
Yeah.
I know they're our rivals, New Zealand, but when it's up against the US, they are definitely on our own team, aren't they?
Yeah, Southern Hemisphere all
That's
day.
it.
All day.
100%. And yes, returning back to our shores, we had, in terms of tournaments, we had the Winter Classic in Burnie, Tasmania. TD was Ed Lancaster. 21 players competed in the event. In MPO, Atticus Ariston, he got a nice win there. Well, he was he was the only one in the division, but he still shot some really nice rounds above his
Still
rating.
counts.
So absolutely.
Yeah,
Scared the competition away.
In MA1, Ed Hesline, he had a close win over local Sam Rubok by 2 throws, so on your Ed. MA40 was Brett Duffin, MA50, Michael Rubok, MA2, Kobe Eimer,
Colby.
MA4, Bradley Smith, FA4, Emma Dwyer, and in MJ15, Jax Gray.
I work with a nurse who's called Kobe, and I said that the other day, and she's like, "Oh, you just reminded me of every boy in high school. I'd walk past, they'd say Kobe, and a piece of paper would hit me in the head."
That's so good.
That's so funny.
And another comp we had was the Townsville Winter Classic. Now, I think that event title's a bit rubbish, to be honest. It's a bit of an oxymoron because it never gets cold in Townsville, does it? I believe it was 27 degrees on Sunday. So
They were probably complaining about that.
call it a
Too
Winter
cold.
Classic, but that's fine.
That's trackies and jumper weather up there, I'm sure.
And a quick shout out to the Winter Classic logo for the event as well. It's got a crocodile wearing a beanie. So I love it. That's funny. So
You guys got no idea. No idea.
Robert Lambert was your TD along with Todd Chapman as your assistant. There was 24 in the comp. No MP40 no MPO or FPO. There was MP40 though. Chris Palazzi taking out that one.
Nice.
Fresh off some surgery, I do believe.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, good on you, mate. MA1, Daniel Jacob. MA40, Todd Chapman. MA3, Manuel Castaneda. MA4 was Jordan Bulmont. And MJ15, Mitchell Palazzi.
Very
Loved
nice.
that name is familiar.
Spanish you got on Manuel's name there.
Manuel Castaneda.
Sounded.
All right. Now, before we move on, the next big event coming up is the Preserve Championship, which is connected by Microsoft Teams.
I'm getting in first, Ricky and Holland, please. They're my tips. Go for the win.
Oh, man, I think Ricky's building, but
He won Preserve last year, I think, too.
Yeah.
And I think, no Calvin that Preserve this time around? I don't think.
no, he's not on the list.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say AB. I think he's due.
Oh, damn, that's a good tip, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, and that course. I like Ricky.
Yeah. It's hard to go past him. I'm going to say Own as well because, yeah. Actually, no, Missy Gannon. I feel like
Missy's a
due
good one. Yeah, not really an own course, I don't think.
Yeah.
FPO layout is quite a bit shorter, but yeah, I think Missy's probably
Paige
better
playing?
shout.
Yes, she is.
There
That's
you
a good
Ooh,
call.
that'd be a good
Yeah,
one.
I like that one.
Paige.
Not really smoking.
No.
Like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been out at the festivals and stuff. Maybe she's feeling good and loose. I don't know.
Actually, there's one last event I wouldn't mind slipping into the recap. I know we've blown out the recap. It's bulging. But there was also the US Amateur Disc Golf Championship, the USADGC at Michigan on the toboggan track. And did you guys happen to catch any of this coverage?
I did not.
None of it.
Very last hole, there was the leader went OB twice. Ooh. And I think there was, 3-shot swing in the end? And he got pipped by one shot on the very last hole.
Yeah, right.
Crazy coverage.
Is that like Alan Brunsting at Champs? Yeah. Right. Okay.
I didn't mean to tee him up. Sorry, Al. No, well worth watching though. Very, very interesting stuff. And that toboggan track, that actually absolutely ate me for lunch. So it's good to see people shredding it.
Nice.
Actually, speaking of recaps, I did forget one event.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Tinty.
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 Well, how can we
Oh,
forget
mate,
Tinty?
how do we forget Tinty?
The Tintinara tee off
We
20.
haven't heard anything but since.
Oh, God. Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Tim Frost was the TD with Christy Hales Thornton. Of course, it was at Tintinara, which is a funny little course, a funny little space for a disc golf course. But it's these guys are doing a really good job in running an event there every year, which is awesome. There was 54 players, so pretty handy. In just a quick recap here, in MPO, the winner in a playoff, Tim Bowen.
Happy to get the win,
There
mate.
you go.
See, that's why I feel like we've done the recap already because I've heard about it for 3 weeks.
Hey, shout out the man who played me in the playoff, Funky.
Jonathan Dragged.
Mate, he's just like, I don't know if he's his first MPO event, but he normally plays MA1, stepped up.
Yeah,
and
love it.
Absolutely smoked it.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty tight. There was Matthew Noblet as well was 21 under par. So
Nobby was
just
playing
one
well.
off the stroke, yeah.
Gareth, I think Gareth got to bed at 5:30 a.m. before round 2. So that didn't do him.
That's Gareth's prime, though.
Oh, mate.
That sounds like a proper Tinty tournament, too.
Yeah,
by the way.
absolutely.
That's fantastic.
In MP40, Youngblood Roach took that division out. MA1, David Stevens. MA40, Lee Thompson from Geelong.
Oh, Lee.
He's having a good year. FA40 was Christy Hales Thornton. MA50, James Arnold. MA2, Henry Arnold. FA2, Bonnie Opitz. MA3, Matthew Tulip. And MA4, Matthew Crawford. And FA4, Lily Reimer. MJ15, Lincoln Holman, and FJ15, Miley Nicholson. A lot of MJs and FJ15s.
A lot of
Yeah.
juniors and
Awesome.
young Henry Arnold could be playing the juniors too, but he's just doing good stuff in MA1. So
He's doing very good
stepping up.
stuff. Shooting, I don't know, what was his 913, 975 second round? Hello?
Yeah, it was huge.
Woo.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely huge. But boys, you haven't even touched on the controversy first. Did you hear the
What
controversy?
happened? What happened?
What? Yeah. All right. So we were watching the scores. We knew you had a bit of a sizable lead, but next minute, I see a message saying, "I've just won the playoff." So, Tim, what happened?
Thought we made things interesting. Turns out my tip of the week is to read the caddy book.
Oh,
Because,
good. Yeah.
It turns out I did not, and I was unaware that there was actually an island hole that luckily it was hazard. So it turns out I actually played the hole correctly. I just didn't score it correctly.
Right.
So copped my first time copying like incorrect scorecard penalty points.
Yeah, okay.
So it was good. And Jono was so close to cashing a putt on the very last hole, like hit the top of the tray, almost clutched up to
For the
not
outright win?
For the outright win.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
luckily
right.
I got him in the playoff. It actually came down to
you
a hole.
almost aced in the playoffs, didn't you?
Yeah, hit the tray, and I actually aced that hole like before the round.
Yeah, right.
If you call it an ace, Parked Media will say it won't an ace because it took four shots. But it was,
right.
still a nice.
You
Still
only
went in.
see one shot on film, so
That's it. And it was Fergie. It was one of your temporary. It was the mid-tier rad basket that caught the ace. So,
Oh, there you go. Well, they're doing something, aren't they? That's right.
Well, they don't catch putts, but they catch the drives.
they
so.
catch the important ones, don't they?
that's
Okay.
No, but shout out. Tinty was good fun. Bloody cold, but had a blast.
yeah, nice. Was there no one drove through the camping ground at the crack of dawn? And shouted?
We actually stayed at the footy club, but yeah, there's some interesting locals knocking about Tinty.
Yeah,
That's,
okay.
that's for absolute sure.
Nice. All right. So next up, we're going to hear from JB all the way from Emporia in the US, and I cannot wait to listen I cannot wait to hear about his experience at Worlds and getting around basically the mecca of disc golf.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disc golf and to catch up on the latest disc golf trends.
All right. And on the phone, we've got Jason Brown, JB. Mate, how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks, Paddy.
We haven't had you on the pod for a while, I don't think, but everyone gets to listen to your beautiful voice every episode they listen to, introing a few of our amazing segments.
I'm trying to refrain from asking for an impromptu.
You got me on the pod every week. Yeah.
I'm refraining from asking you to belt it out on live on air, JB. So you're welcome.
No, that won't be happening this evening, Paddy. No.
Now, look, we're not here to really talk about music stuff. We're here to talk about you, mate, because you're not in Australia. You've been overseas living it up at the Amateur Masters Disc Golf World Championships. And
That is correct.
Most of us Aussies have been watching you and a few of the other Aussies over there competing, but keen to hear all your thoughts about it, JB. Now, it's all wrapped up now, correct?
It has, yeah, just finished up this afternoon, so all of the winners have been crowned.
And we're talking Emporia, Kansas, am I right? This is like a well-known structure of disc golf on the... did you play the Glass Blown Open or the DDO layouts? I think it might have been... I know Jace Vito might have played a couple of those courses, the old school ones. Were you on the same tracks?
No, Jace and I shared Alpi Lake, which was a little bit out of town, pretty tough. A lot of water, a lot of wind, a lot of OB out there. I had Jones West and he had Jones East. So neither of us played the tournament at what is now Champions Landing, the old Emporia Country Club. But I did get a chance to play it a couple of times while I was here. Not the DDO layout, so they adjusted it for Masters competition. But at the end of the day, it's still pretty long. It's still pretty tough, even when it's been adjusted. So I managed to, obviously being Emporia, Kansas, the home of Dynamic Discs, I have been pretty much in Wonderland here. And I went out and had a round with EMAC earlier in the week, and then followed that up with a round with Johnny McRae.
Oh, mate.
A little bit later on, both at Champions Landing. So, I played the course a couple of times. Jace and Brad Turner, and I think Margaret, and Jace's mate that he's been travelling with from Texas, I think they all went out and had a bit of a go at the course after the championships ended today. So they may still be on the course as we speak.
That sounds like Jason Vito, to be honest. Do you reckon, I was just going to think, Paddy, do you reckon your average disc golfer these days know what EMAC or who EMAC is?
Yeah, because they probably they probably know the term EMAC.
Yeah, like me, I thought EMAC was a plastic. I had an EMAC Truth. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice stable Truth. Then you look it up. It's a guy named Eric McCabe. World champ, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
2010 world champ, finished fourth in the MP40 division today.
Nicely done.
Johnny McRae took out the MP50 division today. So
yeah, that's unreal.
By heaps? Like, is he just in it?
With the current world champ.
Is he in a league of his own in that age bracket? Because he still competes on the Pro Tour. Like, he's still...
He's not. There are still some guys out there that are giving him a run for his money. Brian Schrebiger was the closest to him this weekend, but Johnny got him about four or five strokes, I think, in the end.
Yeah.
There's... every year you look at it and there's just new players coming into those divisions, and so it's sort of something that's kind of rolling through as far as new players finding their way into the division. So Cale LaVisca was playing MP40 this weekend. Trevor Harbolt was playing MP40, I think, for the first time this weekend. But Joe Revere was a class above everybody.
Yeah.
He's been division for a while now. So
I've heard he could actually still be quite competitive on the pro scene. Like, he's that good.
He pretty much took care of everybody in that MP40 division today. And in talking about taking care of people, I think Owen Scoggins won FP40 by about 25 strokes.
Wow, 25. Yeah. Joe Revere, we just got it open now, won by 14.
Yep.
I mean, he had some like 1070, 1060 rated rounds in there, Joe Revere too, which is insane.
Eric matched him on a couple of rounds, and he just couldn't match him across the course of the whole tournament. So he'd get close, and then Joe would just pull away again.
Yeah, right.
Remarkable.
I got to admit though, like I've watched a couple little DD videos with Eric McCabe still playing, and the dude can still rip, still throw, still putt.
When I went out and played that practice round with EMAC and Brian Shintako, he shot 9 down on that layout.
Yeah, right. Man, so he's someone who, like, I mean, we've just seen Nate Doss come back and have his first Pro Tour event after 6 years being off. I would love to see EMAC come back and play a couple of Pro Tour events. How sick would that be in MPO? I reckon that'd create a bit of hype.
he now coaches the Emporia State University disc golf team. So I think that takes up a lot of his time at this point in time, and obviously he's still got all of his role at Dynamic Discs as well. So I feel like a lot of his playing time now is taken up with those two roles. So he doesn't really get out and travel very much at all. But if stuff's coming to town, stuff's coming to Emporia, you usually find him out there. Mostly, I think though, in the MP40 division. But yeah. Man, he was. When I was out there on that practice round with him, he was ripping just dead straight down the middle of the fairway, way down.
I'll tell you what,
he's definitely still got it.
I would love a putting clinic with EMAC. He's like the spin putt on that dude is insane. Like,
don't think I've ever seen him throw.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like
Hit before my time.
Dangerous from anywhere. It's crazy.
Awesome.
It's definitely worth going to watch a couple of his videos.
Yep, I guess there's plenty of videos coming out with the PDGA. Basically covering those worlds, and I think you'll find EMAC is probably on the top card of just about every round. So there'll be plenty of footage out there if you want to have a look at how he throws and how he putts.
Yeah,
it'll all be there.
I'm waiting for them to stop putting out the world's coverage so that Gatekeeper puts out our Sizzler coverage, because we're copping flack for that, JB. That's kind of been on the back burner.
Everybody wants to see
anyway,
the Sizzler.
We don't want to talk about the MP40s. We want to talk about your comp. So you played 4 rounds out there in Emporia, Kansas, and I'm assuming windy as all hell, JB. But how did you find the disc golf game over there?
It was windy as all hell for 2 days, humid as all hell pretty much every day, and hot as all hell pretty much every day. It was interesting. Like we certainly that course out at Olpey Lake is a pretty tricky sort of course. Interestingly enough, the course was altered very close to the time. In fact, we didn't think we were going to play Olpey at all. Because the 2 days leading into the tournaments, overnight we had a total of what they say is 6 inches of rain. So we're looking at 150 millimeters of rain across 2 nights, and the lake was basically flooded.
Wow.
Okay.
So they spent the day before the tournament out there at Olpey Lake waiting. They couldn't get to it initially because the river had flooded and they couldn't actually access it. And they spent the time, once they could access it, basically just trying to revamp the course, modify the course, so that we could actually still play an 18 out there. So we ended up playing an 18 out there, which was a bit different to the one that I practiced. But in saying that, in some ways it was probably easier than the one that I practiced, although it was probably tighter than the one that I practiced, which didn't really help me very much at all anyway.
Yeah, nice. And is this your first time competing overseas, JB? I don't know if you've been over to the US before.
Played Japan Open earlier last year, and obviously went across to Taiwan to play with the Australian team at the end of the year last year as well.
Yep.
So,
but nothing in the States? So first Worlds?
Nothing in the States. Never been to the States. First time in the States.
So how did you find it? Were the nerves right up there, or just like another comp?
It's very interesting because being in Emporia, the thing for me was I was here to catch up with the DD crew, link up with a whole pile of people that I'd always sort of interacted with across online and things like that, but never actually spoken to in person or had a chance to sort of meet. So I sort of said probably 75% of the reason why I'm here is because it's in Emporia and I could actually get a chance to finally link up with the DD crew. So 25% of the reason why I'm here was to play Worlds, and that's probably caught up with me a little bit because I didn't really feel any nerves standing up on the tee. But at the end of the day, if I do the post-mortem, I think I probably didn't put enough time and effort into preparing myself for the tournament, and found myself sort of coming up a bit short in terms of locking myself in and actually sort of really giving proper credence to where I was and what I was doing. So it took me, the first 3 rounds really for me to sort of start to get a bit of a handle on why I was actually sort of there and trying to compete at a reasonable level. So I just stunk it up for 3 rounds.
Yeah, good 4th round though. So you're on good track now.
It was a little bit better. It was a little bit closer to what I was looking for, I guess. Even if I'd played 4 rounds that were just over 900 rated, I would have been really happy.
Yep.
But there was a couple there that were just nowhere near that, and just mind blanks and terrible putts and poor decisions, and I really wasn't sort of focused on what I should have been doing out there. It was just all just being out there and just being a part of it all.
I'm sure is that an experience you'll probably never forget, though. And tell us all about the DD warehouse, because that's kind of piqued my interest a little bit. Did you pick up any goodies? What are the best discs you came home with?
The funny thing is, I've already used up my allotment this year, so I didn't really get a chance to go crazy over there.
I think they still accept MasterCard, though, JB.
Definitely a bit like being a kid in a candy store. So, and I was picking at the same time as Johnny as well at the time. So they're only letting 2 of us in at a time. So I think it's me and Johnny McRae wandering around the empty warehouse, because I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday, so there's nobody there at the warehouse. The team manager let us in, and Johnny and I were just in there, just wandering around.
That doesn't sound dangerous at all.
I'm picturing that scene from like Willy Wonka where they like open the doors and it's just all colours, and you're just like, here we go.
JB and Johnny like just floating around the ceiling after.
Come with me and you'll see.
Yes, Johnny walked out like a blueberry. I picked up a nice Orbit Evader. They look really nice. I can tell you, I can very, very highly recommend the new Jacob Semerad Braves, Orbit Braves.
Okay.
They are money, let me tell you. So I picked up a few of those, a couple of Fusion X Trespassers.
Yeah.
I found a shield that was a nice sort of bursty sort of colour that I couldn't resist, and a nice Lucid Ice Vandal. Ooh. I picked up at the warehouse as well, but I was trying to be very frugal and manage the amount of stuff that I'm bringing back, because I've got to still get it into a suitcase. What I can tell you I also got as part of my team allotment while I was there was the General, the new General.
Oh, yeah. I've got 2 coming this afternoon.
Prototype.
I'm looking forward to them.
And also the Socky Bomb Tyro.
Yes.
Now, the Tyro is somewhat of from what I understand, an understable sort of driver.
Okay.
It is not yet PDGA approved, but everybody in the players pack at Masters Worlds got one, and you got to stamp that yourself. And
that's cool.
As a team member, we also got our own Tyro prototype as well.
That's awesome.
To take home with us.
Did you happen to go past the guy who comes up with the names of the discs? Because you could just slip a little note to him to say, pick up your game. Some of these names, the Braves, the Tyro.
I'm not sure what the Tyro is.
It's a shockers, Paddy.
That's
well, from what I can understand, obviously, we know that the DD theme is the Law and Order sort of theme.
Yeah.
Who came up with that? That's not a good idea from the get-go.
The Tyro is some kind of sort of young recruit, apparently. It's sort of like a young, you always hear about this young Tyro playing footy and that sort of stuff, but something to do with the young sort of inexperienced recruit is a Tyro, apparently.
Okay. Yeah, that's no good. I mean, if you're going to go Law and Order.
Hey, mate, come on. Like, it's a step above Prodigy that are just named after venereal diseases. Okay?
All I'm saying is, like, you're going the Law and Order theme. Why isn't there a 12-speed called the Manslaughter? Like, I want to be throwing and then you could go, the plastics could be 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree manslaughter. That's more my jam. I would buy that.
It's probably coming out. It's probably coming out.
No, get the felon.
I'll pass on your recommendations
when
I'm back in the house later this week. I have got a few more days here. I hopefully I'll be out on the course again with McCabe on Monday, I think. We're going to go out and play Swope Park, which the FP40s played, I think, and I can't remember, a couple of other divisions played out there. So we'll have a look out there, and I'll get another chance to go out and have a round with Eric, who, is just the cruisiest guy around. He's real friendly, real relaxed, real just
I
guy to hang out with.
I messaged him once because I bought a few discs from Nate Lee, and I actually found an old Discraft putter with Eric McCabe written on the bottom of it. And I messaged him and said, "Hey, is this actually yours?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's mine. That's my number," before he's sponsored by DD. So I had a big lol there. But he, messaged me back. He's super chill. JB, if you are heading back to the warehouse, I know Cassie Sweeten has been looking for a Orbit sword. Have you managed to find one for her?
I've been looking for Orbit swords everywhere, and the guy who runs the DD store, I had a chat to him, I don't know, pretty early on in the piece, and he said to me, listen, anything you need, I can find it. I've got a little hidey hole in the warehouse, and you just tell me what you need, and I'll go and get one. I said, well, have you got any Orbit swords? And, comes back the day later, he says, no.
Yeah.
What's Orbit? Is that just the Innova Halo ripoff?
Mate, it was Latitude did it first. You keep talking about this. No, get your facts right.
Yeah, I probably should get my facts right. But Innova seemed like they did it first, is all I'm saying.
Nah, Latitude did it best.
They're not more overstable like a Halo is in the Innova lineup. I don't know what it is about the stuff, but it just feels really nice in the hand and
it's good gold.
Really beautifully.
Yeah.
So I just find the Orbit swords just travel further than a regular sword. They're a little bit more predictable than a regular sword. I'm not too sure why, but yeah, look, it's essentially between Cassie and I think we have now cornered the market on Orbit swords within Australia.
There you go.
Every single one that anybody has actually bought in Australia or been put online in retail. So we're reasonably well covered for a little while. But let me tell you this much. I just did not want to risk losing one while I was here. I played over a lot of water. I played the island hole at Champions Landing once.
Did you get on the island?
McCabe's like, yeah, you can make that. You can make that. I'm like, well, I could possibly make that, but I'm going to be risking one of my most precious discs to do this.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend the Justice Roller, JB. might not be the hole for it.
I can't roll that one. But, look, I decided, no, I'm just going to lay it up here because I'm not even playing this course. I don't need to lose one of my Orbit swords while I'm not even playing this course. I went to lay up, slipped on the tee pad, just dropped it straight into the middle of the
No. What's that hole like stepping up to it? Like, is it because it doesn't look that tricky on camera, but I'm sure it's just like way longer than it looks.
Yeah, it's pretty daunting. I think it's 320 yards. 320 feet.
It's 100 meters.
That's about 96. But Eric was pretty much saying, look, it plays closer to 330. 340. So you're looking at well over 100 to safely get yourself on the island because it's just raised up off the water just enough. Today it was pretty windy. All of the MP40 guys got on the island. I think only one of the 4 MP50 guys got on the island. None of the FP40 ladies got on the island. So it's a tough place to hit. I think just about all of the MA40s missed as well.
Yeah, right.
There wasn't a lot of people hitting that island, let me tell you. Maybe the pros make it look pretty easy, but
yeah, they certainly do.
Johnny McRae said he hates that hole and he keeps missing, and he missed it again today. So if Johnny McRae's having trouble hitting it and find the right disc to hit the island,
I would have thought he'd be fine with that hole. Yeah. Like I would have picked him to be on that island 9 times out of 10.
It's one of those things where it's kind of an in between. I think for him, it's either blast something and go way past, or every time he tries to play something just to land on the island, he just comes up short, just misses.
Yeah.
It's just a tricky sort of proposition to judge.
Yeah. All right, JB.
It's pretty small.
Well, we could literally talk Frisbee all day, and we often do. But we better wrap things up there. Really good to check in with you, and congrats. I mean, you probably didn't play how you wanted to play, but still, we're happy to see an Aussie, crack at it, have a crack over there, and come in. Even if you are in 67th place, I'm sure it's a good experience that you'll bring back to Australia, and I'm sure you'll start shredding when you get back here.
Thanks, boys. Hopefully the experience will count. Let me just say a quick shout out to Kim Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he finished second today in MA70.
Huge.
I watched him out there in the final 9 today, and took a little bit of footage. And he fought back. He was sitting third and almost sort of at risk of dropping out of the podium, and fought back on the second last hole and managed to bring himself up to second. So he was pretty chuffed with that. And that's a pretty big effort from Kim, who's been coming over here for a long time, and by far his best result.
I'm sure his little wind chime, windsock, wind reader thing, he would have been going havoc over at Emporia.
There's plenty of shots of that. I took plenty of shots of that. He had that one go. It was an orange one, bright orange, flowing in the breeze, let me tell you.
That's good stuff.
Shout out to Jason Beddoe and Brad Turner and Margaret Trail. I think Brad finished on the same score around about halfway up the field, and Margaret was in the hunt for the semis for a really long time, I think, until the last round. So, the other Aussies have actually sort of conducted themselves really well. I just hung out with celebrities for most of the time.
That sounds like a win to me.
So you're the real winner, I think. Thanks, JB. All the very best for the rest of your trip, mate, and we'll catch up with you when you're back in our state.
All right, boys.
See you, mate.
Thanks, man.
See ya.
All right, pretty sweet hearing from JB. Man, he's having such a good time. Like, he's saying he didn't play exactly how he wanted, but man, the dude is just having an experience of a lifetime. Like, and I tell you what, if I had been hanging around that DD warehouse, I'd be buying 2 suitcases to bring home.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All those discs.
Amazing restraint from JB.
Yeah.
Paddy, you've got on the docket here Power Rankings. What does Power Rankings mean?
Now,
what's going on here?
I got to shout out Zach. So Zach had he's posed this question on topic to us a couple of episodes ago, and he's wanted us to do a bit of like these power rankings for the Aussie disc golfers in the MPO. So basically, we sort of break it down into who we think is sort of leading the pack in the putting, the C1, C2, like forehand, backhand, approaching, scramble, power distance, all that sort of stuff. So we've done a little bit of this, and look, it's the first time we've done this, and I think I'm having a look at all of our choices there, and there's a few similar, there's a few different. So I'm keen to sort of have a bit of a chat about this. And if you're listening and you think we're absolutely way off, then let us know. But for the first one, I thought we'd cover is putting, and C1 and C2.
So just who's the best putter? Who do we rate as the best putter? So who have you gone, Paddy?
Well, look, I'm going to say when they're on, but Bainey and Dill.
Hang on, you put 2 names. Pick one, mate.
I did. All right. If they're on and everything is like, I know he is just hitting the strides, then I'd probably say Dill.
Okay.
Yeah. Just seeing that guy just fearless, absolutely fearless in hitting stuff from everywhere in C2, C1, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yourself, Fergs?
Yeah, look, I also had Dylan Feldman there. But yeah, when he's on for sure. And, we've recently recorded some commentary where there was a round or so where he wasn't so on and it wasn't looking so flash. But, geez, when he's on, he's on. But, I mean, so's Bainey. I don't know.
Oh, 100%. Really hard.
I think Bainey and Dill, when they're on, C1 extends to about 30 metres. Like, they just get anything in from that range.
Yes.
I do like, though, what you had, Tim.
I've gone Austin.
Yeah.
Now, this may be controversial, but I'm going mainly off what I've seen this year. And Austin is a phenomenal putter.
Yes.
And he does have those rounds where he's not on. Like I think everyone's prone to those rounds. But particularly his C2 putting, I feel like separates him a little bit.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem to lack any confidence, really. You know what I mean? Like, he's always just seems to be, powering putts.
Never misses 2 in a row either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like quite often his miss will go to edge of C1 and he'll just can the comebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One name on that isn't on there that I was struggling a little bit as well was Jade too, and especially after we've watched the Sizzler footage. Yeah, Jade.
Spoilers.
Good putter.
Red fucking hot putting.
Yep. It was awesome.
All right, next category, the forehand, and this is controversial. Mainly because my name's not there, but let's be real. I only throw it 90 metres. So, Paddy, who have you gone for forehand?
Dave Perry, DP. 100%. 100%.
Fergs, you gone the same by looks of things?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I mean, it's just, to look at it's something. And then his forehand's amazing as well. So I've got no, look, he's just, he's smooth. He's always consistent.
Smooth, powerful.
Yep.
Just, I reckon
I've gone Bainey. I really rate Bainey's forehands.
Yep.
I feel like he just chucks that, like, I think it's a Haley King Firebird, and it just flies as far as my Destroyer, as far as my Reverbs. Very, very powerful. And he's got the forehand Toro upshots absolutely dialed. Perry's a phenomenal forehand. But I feel like I feel like I just underrate Perry because he doesn't play as many events. Whereas Bainey, it's like week in, week out. And I feel like this year Bainey's backhand's what's been costing him shots. The forehand's been elite.
DP and Bainey's forehands, very different styles.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you can just see the power coming off, you know, David. But then
Don't sleep on Bainey's power.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bainey's got this sneaky power. Like it's all in, you know, I mean, years of throwing ultimate disc and all the rest of it. Absolutely piffs it, yeah.
Honestly, this was really hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I kind of went for power and consistency. Mm-hmm. And, I was definitely tossing up Bainey.
Yeah.
That was really tricky. Yep.
Backhand, maybe we'll start with mine. I've gone Dylan for the backhands.
Yep.
Just because he's really bloody good at throwing backhands. Like just, I think back to New Zealand and the last hole at the golf course and just the power the man's got on a spike hyzer to go over trees, must be a 120-metre hole, spike hyzer, and just absolutely under the basket, like almost dunks it.
Yeah.
Very impressive. I told him to do that too, by the way. There's a caddy shot there.
Paddy, you've also chosen Dylan.
I also said Dill. Yep. I just think he's got that combination of power and control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone back-to-back forehand and then backhand, Dave Perry.
DP.
Yeah, I just think,
Yep.
If Dylan ever finds that tie-dye compass that he used to throw on every single hole at Barwon Valley, like he'll be like 1050 rated.
All right, next up we've got approaching. Now, we've all got different answers here.
What bloody
which I
names?
quite like.
Did you guys read it as blokes that are approachable? Like, who have you voted here?
All right, so I'll lead us off. JJ. Jonathan Jonas. Mate, that
Clicky
dude.
fingers himself.
Yeah. If you want to learn how to approach a green, just go and play around with JJ. That dude is putting that thing within bullseye from 50, 60, 70 every time.
Yep.
Every time.
Nothing crazy flashy, but getting the job done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here's my shout.
I'd be astounded if the stats told us that JJ was the best approacher in Australia, Paddy. I'd be astounded.
This is why we need, like, at these Aussie champs and things like that, we need these, like, extra events to kind of maybe, you know, the accuracy events and all of those.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
I'd love to see that, actually.
Yeah.
Agility test.
Yeah. Not me.
That'd be chilly all day.
Beer chugging chest.
And you've gone... Who have you gone, Fergie?
For approaching, Mr. Upshot himself, Paul Arden.
Yeah.
I might have steered a little
Does
bit.
it get called Pardon, surely?
No.
P.
but
Arden?
Yeah, makes sense. No, look,
Fergie's not the best approacher in the bloody country,
let me tell
mate.
you, I have played many a round with that chap, and I can tell you now, like, he's just nothing flash, like JJ maybe, just, you know, but puts it under the basket.
Have you guys played any rounds with, like, MPO players?
Maybe that's what I'm lacking a little bit. But no, look, it was a little bit left of field, but having a bit of fun with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
Mate.
You, Tim?
I've gone Dave Perry, and maybe this is because I've overlooked him for the other categories and a little bit of bias there, but the man doesn't have to putt much. Like, I feel like if you looked at purely just the parked percentage, Dave Perry's got that stat, and it's because he approaches with his Firebird, his Toro, just he's back.
An Alien of late, I believe.
Yeah, he throws the Alien a lot, and just those low glide discs, he's got it in spades, backhand and forehand. So I feel like
no wonder he's not up the top there in putting C1 and C2 because he's just not having.
Doesn't have to
do
putt
it.
much. Yeah.
All right, next up, scramble. And this was a bit tricky.
I struggled actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just chose what you chose. To be honest, no,
really?
that's not true.
No, we're all almost on the same page. So Paddy, you've gone,
Austin.
and Fergie, you've
Yeah,
also
Austin
followed
as well.
Austin.
I mean, this is based on, like, really, I don't get to see Austin play a whole lot in comps and things like that, but doing the commentary, for sure I do.
Yeah.
Because he's always bloody there.
Yeah.
And he
he's-
just seems to get out of trouble.
Yeah.
So,
But he's usually in the rough. So
See, I really didn't know who to put for this category. I've gone with Dan Frost.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, I feel like he just doesn't get bogeys.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, and I couldn't tell if that's because he's never off the fairway. And then I think back to some of the rounds I've had with him. He's got this disc. I call it the P15S because he's absolutely taken the piss with it. I think it's a P1X.
Yep.
I don't know.
yeah, okay.
But the man just makes it work. Like, he just throws these backhands that have this late turn, and he gets out of trouble a lot with it. So
Yep.
I like
Look-
that. I was trying to toss it like someone who's got that, you know, who has that forehand, a little bit of backhand, like Aussie D's got that, you know, that ultimate kind of touch and flex. And I've seen him do some wild stuff
Yeah.
to sort of get up and down. So, yeah, that was a reason for my tip.
Yep.
Anyway,
I don't sleep on my scramble game, by the way.
I
think
like that too.
I'm off the fairway more than bloody anyone. Like,
I mean-
if you take a nice simple par 3, I will find a place where it's like a straddle out from a knee scramble. So yeah.
And finally, we had power distance. Now, again, I was indecisive and I put 2 names there. I think, Tim, you and I were on the same money. Blake Houston.
Shake and Blake.
Yeah. But I did put Alex AK-47
Yeah.
Canaston in there as well because they both crushed those
Well, he's
boys.
a world distance champ, so
He's a
it'd be hard
world
not
distance
to-
chance. Yeah.
And Fergs, I love yours.
Yep.
Yep.
Rhino
Yeah.
Hart.
Ryan Hart.
Like,
yeah.
he throws an absolute mile. Like,
It
it
is.
is scary how far he throws.
And it's just, I feel like it's in the last 6 to 12 months. I mean,
Yeah.
the dude's becoming a man.
Yeah.
He's 16 soon now. Ish.
No, 17.
17. Okay,
Yeah,
excuse me.
he's been on his learners for a
Okay,
bit.
so
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, so whatever. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Becoming a
him
man,
and-
and he's just getting that extra power now. It's not just about like being, skinny and just long and all the rest of it. It's
And him and Blake, it's getting personal between those two, and Alex as well. Like, they're all just wanting to just one up each other.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Testosterone.
I've gone Blake though because Blake's got the
Yeah.
got the track record. I mean, we can't sleep on Alex. Didn't Alex get the distance world? Isn't he the distance
Yeah.
world champ in his division?
Yeah, that's why.
But I mean, I feel like Blake. I mean, Blake's the only person I've seen go to a distance driving competition and throw outside of the field. Like, made an absolute mockery of that Vic Open.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice. Dig it. All right. Well, if you thought we were way off on any of them, please let us know. And if you want to submit your own power rankings, please chuck it in. And I'm keen to see what other people think.
yeah, absolutely. Any names? Any like the top dogs in Australia that we kind of didn't name in any particular category?
apart from Tim Bowen
Apart from
Well,
Tim.
I'm not there, but
and yourself, Paddy.
yeah, you're Paddy.
Well,
Like, you're
look,
just like an
Jade-
all-rounder, I guess.
Jade's not there.
Jade's not there. Yep.
Jade's not there. Who else is not there? Like, there's Chris Finn's not there. There's
Chili's not there.
Chili's not there. Like, there's a few.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few. But
And it's nothing against them as their player. I mean, they're obviously an all-round good player.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be where they are. But
yeah. And I mean,
no, it's interesting.
We
I'd
are
like to-
doing right now
Yeah.
at like what the climate is right now. But yeah,
Is
We
this
should
power
do
ranking?
this each year, I reckon. That'd be cool.
Does the power rankings come from anywhere? Like, was it? Who did you say? Zach James? Was it?
yeah, he just asked us to do it. But I tell you what, this is one thing I would actually really, really like to see if there ever gets like the Aussie Tour elevates anymore. But I would love to see some more stats coming from MPO at the majors. So whether we're putting it in to see like what we're actually, who's hitting fairways, who's hitting green in regular, C1X, C1, C2 in regulation, all that sort of stuff. I would love to see that come out because, we can use it for this sort of thing and see where people are missing, see where they're hitting it. I think why not? Anyway, moving on. I digress. All right, next up, we did have a few questions come in, so I'm just going to quick fire. Thank you to everyone who sent in. So Nick would like to decide, would we prefer good tee pads and bad baskets or bad tees and good baskets?
Oh, wow. So good pads, bad baskets, or bad tees, good baskets.
Oh, it's a no-brainer for me. I go bad tees, good baskets.
Yeah, because I don't even really need a tee, just a couple of flags.
Yeah, that's what good shoes are for.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, who wants a shit basket?
Yeah.
Like, but it's a good question though. I do like it.
Yeah,
It's
a great question.
Like, I mean, at least one of those things. I mean, bad basket's not going to hurt your ankle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that's what a bad tee is, or if it's
mean,
just
Barn-
lined up wrong or whatever. But yeah.
Barn Valley, good tees, bad baskets. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're okay baskets.
Mate, the Barn Valley baskets are good. Don't blame.
No, they are
blame the
good.
baskets.
And I tell you what, credit to them. I mean, they've been in the ground 10 years now. They
Yeah.
look great.
They
Yeah.
do.
You know what I mean?
They do.
For a permanent basket. So
True.
They're getting lower by the minute, but
yeah,
they're-
don't know what's happening with that.
Yeah, love that.
All right, thanks, Nick. Next up, Wayne. What's the biggest comp on the radar for the tee-off fellas in the next month?
Well, I'm just playing the BV Bash on the weekend.
Are you?
Red hot 15 players?
Did you end up jumping in MA1 like you said you were going to?
Hey, that was all you boys. That was all you boys. Almost started the riot because another no cash for MPO event. But no, I'm playing MPO. It'd be good. I think Dylan's there. There's Blakey Nichols, Nath Parrish.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to come 5th. It'll be good.
Yeah, sweet.
Just went down to Barn Valley, lost one on a frisbee, so shows how well I'm playing down there.
Unfortunately, nothing massive on the radar in the next 4 weeks, like next month.
Is Queensland in
Hopefully
next
soon.
month? Queensland.
Yep.
Yeah.
Queensland's next month.
I'm definitely looking forward to Queensland.
I was going to say I did manage to sneak in the Southwest Classic Teams event though.
yeah,
that was last weekend at Inverleigh, which was really good fun.
I wanted to make it, but after the drive back from Tinty and a few cold, sleepless nights in Tinty,
Yeah.
I was pretty knackered. So.
I don't blame you.
I'm shocked that you didn't.
No, like I was
I'm
literally
shocked
like,
that you didn't.
I was
Yeah.
like, and then the day after I'd have to go to Sydney for work. So I was like, no, it's a bit too much. I do hate missing the Southwest because it's bloody fun, that.
It is a good fun event. Shout out to any club out there who want to do something different. Hank Terpstra has been running that for this is the 10th year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't know what it is, it's teams of 4. So it's fantastic. If you think how good doubles is, teams of 4 is even better because literally one person lays up and then you get 4 people full sending for the throw-ins.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Really good fun event. Yeah.
Or 3 people, I mean.
It's it's funny to look back on the winners when you see the teams and you're like, how the hell did those guys get to play together or those dudes? But it's from 10 years ago. But
It all comes out very close.
Has Dylan lost one yet? He just wins every year.
Well,
right?
he didn't play this one, so
He's lost. Sucked in, Dell. All right. I think Queensland for me, though, next month.
Yep.
Yeah, Queensland.
yeah, Queensland coming up. That'll be fun. There's also big wets coming up too.
Yeah, you're right. Big wet.
Yeah.
Got to get up to
Actually-
course and played a bit more. That ate my lunch at the last league.
Yeah.
He never hit so many trees.
Super. Actually, I'll talk about it quickly because I went up and checked out the area.
Yeah.
That has the potential to be one of the coolest disc golf courses in Australia.
But you currently hate it, is the vibe
No,
I was getting.
I am 100% sold on the area.
Yep.
It's just the design and everything needs work, needs love, as any good project does.
Yeah, too many backhand holes. I agree, Paddy. I agree.
But
do it.
I mean, you're talking like elevation, pine trees, sweeping fairways, like it's just unreal. It's such a cool place. And if anyone is thinking about maybe checking it out, definitely get on it. It'd be worth a trip to come over.
Absolutely.
Like big wet, I've never had this happen. It's on my birthday. Like I'm going to be playing a disc golf tournament on my birthday. So
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot sub 900.
Nah,
I'm
you'll
feeling
smash
right now.
it. Like the events that I've played on my birthday,
Yeah.
been insane. They're the best rounds I've ever played.
Oh, well, look out.
mate,
didn't you snag a win and an ace or something stupid up in Melbourne?
I had my highest ever rated round, 1038, I believe, at Hot Start. Might have been the day after my birthday this year, but
Yeah.
do love that
There you
one.
go.
I think the big wet sold out too, isn't it? There's only a few
might
spots
have.
left for 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
looked.
Yeah, cool. No, shout out to Marlon
and crew there. Yep.
Yeah, they're working
Keen.
hard. They're having a good crack at it. Yeah. All right, next up, Benny from Camden. He has asked the Masters, the setup, 4 rounds, semis, and then the 9-hole final. Should we do this for champs?
Oh, that's a lot of disc golf. But I feel
rounds?
like 4 rounds minimum for champs. I can't believe we're still doing 3 rounds for champs. It should be 4 rounds.
Yep, agreed.
It did get me thinking before he sent this in. It did get me thinking about like potentially a final 9 for the MPO at champs. Mm-hmm. Kind of feel like that could be cool.
I like it. Yep, I like it.
It'd be a lot, like a lot of disc golf.
Yeah. I've seen
But-
some final 9s that are really flat because the people are just absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
And if it gets to the point where like first is a runaway leader, that final 9 can be a bit of a slog.
Yeah. And you'd hate to see something like I've been a part of some where I've had a pretty sizable lead and I've played like shit because I am exhausted.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's still like, still finished far in front. It's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
But then again, I've seen some where it's like Jazz ended up winning. Like someone had a decent lead. I think he chased down, maybe it was Chris Ronalds once, chased him down and ended up winning by like 1 or 2 strokes.
Yeah, right.
At an Inverleigh Open in a final 9. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but I feel like if you had like a final 9 at champs with MPO, like you think about Tassie that we've just been, like if there was 9 holes there, Bainey was way out in front, but geez, it'd look good on footage. You'd have a massive crowd sort of getting around. There's some cool things about it.
What you could do is 4 rounds with a cut after the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And then that last day you could do the 4th round early because you've got less players to squeeze in through in daylight and then do a final 9 at the end of that. I think that could be quite cool.
That's interesting.
That's a good idea. Just lock it in stone. I just came up with that just then, and that sounds fantastic. Good question, Benny
good
from
question.
Camden.
But I think we've said it numerous times, like 4 rounds minimum.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be.
But yeah, Benny, just work on getting a course in Camden, please, because that should be your priority, not setting up the layout at our champs.
And finally, Terry Bowen, should you read the caddy book?
Far out, Dad. Who bought Dad a smartphone, honestly? Sending in questions. Goddamn caddy books. To be fair, caddy book didn't have pictures. I haven't read a book without pictures ever. So where me pictures at?
Oh, God. Hey, just before we wrap things up as well, just drop a little sneaky one. I did see on the registration list for the Aussie Open that Thomas Gilbert has signed up. Yeah,
boy.
So that's pretty cool.
The Canadian sensation. Look out.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that's pretty cool. So,
All right.
yes, a big name on the list.
That is
The first
very
of many,
exciting.
I hope.
I do hope so. Yeah, I've not massive expectations, to be honest. It's a tough one, being like, where it is, in terms of like, over in Perth, and also just like the week kind of after the team's event, because a lot of people want to nick off home. But either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's sticking around, and that's really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, very, very cool.
All right, and that brings us to the end of episode 64. Thank you, Fergie. Thank you, Timmy. It's been a bit of fun. And, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We're going to put some more questions out there. And, send anything in that you'd like us to discuss.
On that note, Jomez poll. I slept on it this week. Going to make sure I get that in for the very next episode. So keep an eye on the socials for that.
All right.
And make sure you vote.
Unreal. Until next time, we hope you get out and play some disc golf with your mates.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.